the favorite?
You know, I'm not really sure. Josh Ravitz is a slower combo deck, but he has way more disruption.
He really does.
Seemingly, faster combo deck, not as much disruption.
His only real disruption is like the duresses that he plays.
Exactly.
3 duress, and that's it.
3 duress. He has 4 silence.
4 silence, yeah, that would definitely help out.
Less powerful than the duress in this matchup.
The problem is, though, silence doesn't really disrupt Ravitz from going left.
Exactly. It
helps,
only is a proactive.
Exactly. It's a proactive card. It helps him go off, but doesn't really prevent Ravitz from doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, so I think this matchup will be highly die roll dependent. Whoever wins the die roll will have a big edge.
All right. I think Ning Lee has won the die roll, and he leads off with a turn 1 ponder. So that's obviously going to resolve, and we'll see what he does with this ponder. Now, both players are playing for top 8 here. If they draw, it's likely one of these two will miss it on tiebreakers. So they could draw and cross their fingers, but it's often better not just to play for it.
Right. Josh Ravitz has a way better chance of making it with the draw, as his tiebreakers are more than 2% higher.
Yes, exactly. And just so you guys know, Lee actually took a mulligan this round.
Yep, he's on 6, Josh on 7.
All right. Josh leads off with an island and probably going to play a ponder himself. And he does just that. We saw Ravitz earlier in the day beat up on his buddy Mike Flores.
That's right. We saw him turn 1 combo, but against Ning Lee, he's going for a little slower route, playing it safer.
Exactly. His Force of Wills are really coming in handy this match, I bet.
That's right. Ning does not have access to Force of Wills because he's playing ad nauseam.
Yeah, only duress for his disruption game 1. And there we see it. We see a turn 2 duress from Lee, and we'll see if Ravitz lets it resolve, and he does. Oh, a really strong hand for Ravitz. Brainstorm, misdirection, show and tell, and there's a Grizzlebrand. I think it's pretty clear he has to take the show and tell.
Yeah,
especially
for sure.
with the Ancient Tomb and City of Traders that Ravitz has.
Yep, has to take that, no other choice. Now, interesting to note, if that duress was a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition of Kozilek, Josh could have misdirected it back to Ning.
Exactly, but because of his duress, he can't do that.
Exactly. Right. Duress says target opponent.
Yep. All right, so duress saves the day for Lee as of now. Oh my God, Ravitz just threw a show and tell off the top.
Sometimes it's your tournament.
Sometimes you just get lucky and you rip a show and tell.
There it is.
But to be fair, Ravitz did ponder.
Right, he did.
Yeah,
he did ponder. Now, this isn't game over because sure he's going to drop a fatty into play, but Ning still has 1 or 2 more turns to combo off.
Yeah, but it's gonna be tough because Ravitz is gonna be able to draw 14 cards, and he's probably gonna find at least 1 or 2 Force of Wills.
Right. Ning would have way rather that have been an Emerald Pool than a Grizzlebrand.
Exactly. But Lee knew that was going to be a Grizzlebrand from the duress prior.
Right. Lee drops City of Brass into play, so he'll have access to 3 or 4 mana next turn.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And Lee definitely could combo off this turn.
Yeah, he could. And just like we saw last round, the Sneak and Show player, he drew a lot of cards with his Grizzlebrand. He almost missed.
Yeah.
He hit it on the last Brainstorm.
And you know, Ravitz might not want to pay 14 life because then all of a sudden, Lee just needs 2 spells to tendril him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ravitz might only draw 7 with the Grizzlebrand.
Should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
And a Silence will make Ravitz need 2 Force of Wills.
Yeah. All right. Did you see a Silence in Lee's hand?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's a Brainstorm and 2 other cards, I believe.
Yeah, so the mulligan really hurting
Yeah.
Lee here. He only has 3 cards to work with to deal 18 damage.
I'm kind of surprised that he uses Sackland if it was a Brainstorm, but I guess it might not have too much of an effect.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, Brainstorm is great for shuffling the chaff away, but when you're not going to get another turn...
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. All right, so I see a couple of rituals. I'm not sure what else. Lee checks his life total, checks Ravitz's life total, and just trying to figure out the best route to victory here. There's a Misty Rainforest. And it's looking kind of grim for Lee.
Yeah, he doesn't have many options here. This is not the draw that the Epic Storm deck needed, or the Perfect Storm deck needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, he does have Burning Wishes in his deck. He can go grab something like a removal spell. Which is he playing?
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
He's not playing any sorcery speed removal spells.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a Grape Shot, but if he's going to get a Grape Shot, he probably just wants to go to the head.
Right. He has 2 Chain of Vapor in his sideboard. I'm almost surprised one of those isn't a sorcery version.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, Ravitz comes in with the Grizzlebrand, and he's going to pay 7 life to draw 7 cards.
Yep, this is in his second main phase.
And Ravitz' hand has to be stacked right now. I see a Brainstorm. I see a bunch of other blue cards. Not sure how many Force of Wills. There's a Lotus Petal from Ravitz. And he also drops a Misty Rainforest. So I believe he's just going to brainstorm right here. So he's going to set it up, and you just see exactly what he's going to have to discard. Maybe he draws enough Lotus Petals, so he won't have to discard at all.
Right.
Oh, I see a red card in his hand. Oh, there's a sneak attack.
Sneak attack and Emrakul, so next turn he could potentially set up the win, even though Lee's at 12.
Yeah, but I mean, already it's looking so good for Ravitz here, especially with that Grizzlebrand.
Right, he probably doesn't need to shave a turn off the clock.
Exactly. I mean, Lee just being at 12 life, it's just so bad, especially when his card draw is ad nauseum and he's really relying on that card itself. You want to have a lot of life when you're casting ad nauseum.
Markson tweets in, he has access to Karakas postboard, should be okay, but not out of the woods. Maybe he had that in one version of the deck, but Lee has no Karakas.
Yeah,
in the sideboard.
in this version, his sideboard is 2 Chain of Vapor, 3 Cabal Therapy, 3 Abrupt Decay, 1 Grape Shot, 1 Revoke Resistance, 1 Tendrils, 1 Empty the Warrens, 1 Time Spiral, 1 Ill-Gotten Gains, and 1 Past in Flames.
Right, so he has the Wish board, and then he has the Abrupt Decays as answers to Counterbalance, he has the Cabal Therapy for answers to Counter Magic, and Chain of Vapor as a catch-all.
Exactly. All right. So Ravitz will shuffle his deck due to discarding an Emrakul. And the trigger happens.
Yep, that'll shuffle his graveyard into his library, and he'll pass the turn.
Yep. All right, and Ravitz should have 7 cards right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Ravitz just pretty much sculpted the perfect 7-card hand. And the turn has been passed. Lee untaps.
Looks like on his upkeep, he's using a fetch land. He's going to clear out what he put on top with that Brainstorm.
Yeah, I believe he just put 2 lands on top. He picked up some ritual effects and just decided to put 2 lands that he didn't need on top.
Right.
Misty Rainforest gets sacked, and we'll have a new draw step. That's the real power behind Brainstorm. Brainstorm without sack lands is not very good.
No, it's just a glorified cantrip at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to have some way to shuffle the top of your deck.
Yep, I agree. Alright, so Ravitz is giving Lee's deck a bit of a shuffle here. And Lee will probably just have 1 draw. Looks like he has a Brainstorm, which is he's going to play. Storm counts at 1.
Yeah, I see a Pyroblast and a Misdirection poking out of Josh Ravitz's hand.
I see a Silence, though.
Okay, well that's a start.
Yeah, Silence will definitely be a start here. I think I see a Silence and a Ponder, is it?
Yep, everything will probably start with the Silence. Oh, no, he's going for the Ponder first.
Alright, so Ravitz is going to let it resolve, and Lee's definitely going to shuffle here.
Yep, not going to fight over it.
Yeah, I think Ravitz is admiring Lee's City of Brass. Ravitz is a big collector of cards himself, so...
If they were only playing for ante, right?
Yeah. Alright, so now Lee shuffling his deck. Lee pretty much just... I'm not really too sure what he could draw to get out of this.
No, Josh Ravitz has so much counter magic at his disposal. Plus, if he needed more, he could draw 14 more cards.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Grizzlebrand is just so
I mean, it's risky
scary
to draw 14, especially with Tendrils, but...
Right. But if you're countering 4 things, I hope he can't afford Tendrils.
Exactly, yeah. Especially after playing Brainstorm, Ponder this turn.
Right. So 1 last Ponder. He'll give it a try. He sees Dark Ritual. He sees...
No, that's his hand.
Oh, that's his hand. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he kept quickly. He didn't really even show us.
Did he even draw a card?
I think he drew a Lotus Petal.
Oh, wow. He drew really quick then.
Yeah, I wonder what he has on top to make him keep so quickly.
Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by that.
Yeah, Ravitz is going to go for the win here, though, so we probably won't get to find out.
Yep. So Ravitz sacrifices both his fetch lands. Normally you want to sacrifice land, go search, sacrifice land, go search. But at this point, Ravitz is taking a shortcut. That's definitely acceptable.
Right, round 9 of the tournament when he's about to just win the game on the spot.
Exactly.
He doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, as long as you declare it, you'll be fine.
So some pretty nice volcanic islands right there. You weren't lying when you said he was a collector.
Yeah, Ravitz is definitely a big-time collector when it comes to cards. And he's tapping 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like a sneak attack's going to come down. He'll take the 2 damage. And it's just that.
There's the attack.
Yep. He'll activate it using his volcanic island. There's an Emrakul. And I think Lee is just going to pack it up. And he does just that. All right, so Lee's down a game, Ravitz up a game. What can Lee really bring in to help this matchup? Just the 3 Cabal therapies?
Yeah, he'll also bring in some Chain of Vapors just to bounce any potential Gristle Brands. It's not good against Emrakul because you can't target it.
Can't even target it, yeah.
And to be honest, it's really not good against Gristle Brand either, but
it's really not.
At least it does something.
In some real obscure scenarios, I think Chain of Vapor might be okay, but other than that, it's going to be pretty bad overall. I don't think he's going to bring it in.
No, Lee was really unprepared for this matchup, but beyond that, a deck like the Epic Storm, it just doesn't have very many good sideboard cards, period. It has to play the Wishboard, and it also just can't alter that much of its main deck. It needs all these tools to be able to go off.
I mean, I guess in some scenarios, Lee could bounce a sneak attack, but that's just kind of rare if Ravitz going to just tap out for it.
Yeah, that's not usually going to happen.
All right, so we'll see what happens here.
Yep. Josh Ravitz, on the other hand, does have some spicy options in his sideboard. The things that stand out, he has 8 ley lines. He has 4 Leyline of the Void, which won't come in this matchup. More importantly, 4 Leyline of Sanctity, which is huge.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess Lee has to bring in the Chain of Vapors?
Well, he doesn't know about those yet.
Yeah, so...
But I think he's going to hedge and bring in at least 1, maybe 2.
I mean, he could also always just Burning Wish for the Revoke Existence.
Right. Generally, when you're playing a Storm deck, it's pretty bad to not bring in at least 1 bounce spell.
Yeah, just to... I mean, we saw what happened when... I think it was round 3. One player went turn 1 island into a Grafdigger's Cage, and that was it. The guy just
opponent didn't even have any permanents to scoop.
Yeah, so
other options, he has 3 Red Blast, which they're okay. I expect Josh to bring them in and use them on any Ponders or Brainstorms he sees.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being the case.
Josh might bring in 2 Echoing Truth too to deal with Empty the Warrens tokens. It depends how worried he is about that line of attack. Really, though, it's straightforward sideboarding for both players.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, Ravitz was looking to see where that noise is coming from. Actually, Karn Liberated walked into the room himself.
Did he try and restart the game again?
He tried to restart the game, and we had to call security. So, Karn, you better not come in here again, because we're not having none of this.
Putting you in cuffs, buddy.
Yeah, he's really loud with all his metal and everything.
He's a clanker.
Yep, he really is. All right, so Lee's going to be on the play of this game, and Lee's probably going to like his chances for game 2, being on the play again. Hopefully this time he won't have to mulligan. But for game 3, when the Ravitz is on the play, combo on combo often comes down to who's on the play, who has to mulligan.
It really does. You know, as we've seen all tournament long, when combo and combo play each other, really, a lot of times it comes down to the draw.
Yeah, it really does. You know, an Esper control match versus an Esper control match comes down to, for the most part, who played better. Because the game's going to last 10, 15, 20 turns sometimes. With combo on combo, 3 or 4 turns, and that's usually it.
Right. Especially Ning Lee, he's looking to interact with his opponent as little as possible. He has 7 main deck spells to do so with 4 Silence, 3 Duress. Josh Ravitz, on the other hand, he has a little more game to it. He has Force of Wills, he has Misdirections, and he can generally just play a waiting game better than a Storm deck can.
Exactly. Lee's main way to win would be Duress into a Cabal Therapy and just try to destroy Ravitz's hand.
Yeah. Afterboard, he has 6 discard spells, which is pretty good. The chance of drawing 2 of those, pretty good when you factor in the Ponders and the Brainstorms.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the chance to draw 1 is well over 50%, so drawing 1's a start, drawing 2 would be very good for him.
Let's not even talk about the combo of Gitaxian Probe plus Cabal Therapy.
Yeah,
that's dirty.
Yeah, that's definitely very good. I'm actually surprised not many people are playing Meddling Mage, just because, you know, Gitaxian Probe is a card that you might want in an aggressive fish type deck where you have Meddling Mage, you have Snapcaster Mage, you have Stoneforge Mystic. Why not throw in some Gitaxian Probes, maybe Cabal Therapy, and Lingering Souls? You don't really see that type of deck anymore.
A fish type deck would have done really well at this tournament.
Yeah.
And also, just to clarify, when I say fish, I don't mean Merfolk. When I say fish, I mean like a 2 or 3 color Hate Bear style deck.
Exactly, yeah.
Meddling Mages, Thalias, Mother of Runes, Aether Vial. That deck would have just been superb.
Yeah, also, I don't know if you guys remember, back in many years ago, Ben Rubin featured a deck called the Dump Truck. And that's exactly what it was. It was like Peaks, Meddling Mage, Shadow Mage Infiltrator,
Exalted Angel, Cabal Therapy, Vindicate.
And a lot of the cards would still be played in the same list for Legacy.
Yeah, you really actually see a lot of overlap there.
Yeah, definitely.
The fact that Vampiric Tutor is no longer legal changes the deck a little bit. Kind of takes away from its Silver Bullet aspect, but I think it's a good thing for Legacy that Vamp's not legal.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so both players lay out their 7-card hand. Lee will be on the play. He's to the right of your screen. Ravitz with Sneak and Show to the left of your screen.
Yep, these players just over 35 minutes left to complete this match. And
Yeah, they should have more than enough time here. Let's see. Ravitz looks a little bit unease. Maybe his hand's not so good. Maybe it's just a bluff. And Lee's really thinking about it as well, too.
Yeah, Ravitz stone-faced, trying not to give anything away here.
Yeah, maybe his hand is just super good and he's really happy inside. But we'll find out in about 30 seconds. Normally players take between 30 to 2 minutes max, deciding whether or not you want a mulligan.
Yeah, you know, that's the problem with Josh Ravitz. This is both his happy face and his sad face.
Yeah. That's true. All right, so...
I think Lee's in the tank more than Josh.
Yeah, I think so too. Lee's really looking at his hand thinking, you know, can I combo off? Is my 6 going to be better? It's really difficult.
It's tough to mulligan with a Storm deck. Every card that you go down, it hurts a lot.
Well, both players decide to keep. And there's a Cataxian Probe. And Ravitz's hand is Force of Will, Echoing Truth, Sneak Attack, and Emrakul on some lands. His hand's not the best.
That's probably one of the worst hands you'll see Josh Ravitz keep. I think anything worse than that, he would have mulled.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he has to keep because of the Force of Will, and he also has a Sneak Attack with the Emrakul, so that's the combo right there, essentially.
Right. When you're on the draw against a combo deck and you draw Force of Will and a blue card, it's real tough to mull the 6.
Yeah. All right, so Lee will draw off, and he draws a Brainstorm. I see a Dark Ritual. I see a Lotus Petal.
I think there's an Infernal Tutor in there somewhere.
Chrome Mox. So maybe he kept the Zero Lander. Maybe that's the big debate.
Yeah, he might have.
I think he pitched an Infernal Tutor.
Yeah, it's a black card.
All right, there's Duress. All right, this is interesting.
Yep.
What would you take here?
If he has any semblance of a combo hand, he's going to take the Force of Will. There's no question.
Sure.
If he has an Empty the Warrens draw, he'll take the Echoing Truth.
Okay.
If he has a really slow hand, he might take the Sneak Attack.
Yeah, I think taking the Force is pretty good here. This leaves Ravitz somewhat with his pants down.
Yeah, most of the time Lee will take the Force. But
he decides to go with the Sneak Attack. Yeah. And Ravitz draws another Ancient Tomb, so he'll just lead off with a Volcanic Island and pass the turn.
Yep, Lee draws a Silence. Wow.
Yeah, nothing.
Passes.
Wow. All right. So I think Ravitz wants to drop one of his Ancient Tombs, and he'll pass back.
If you were Ravitz, would you Echoing Truth the
Chrome Mox? I mean, he could, but I don't think that's a good play because Lee's going to have extra cards that he wants to pitch anyway, especially if he has no lands.
I think you're right. It also just adds to the Storm count.
Exactly. All right, there's a Scalding Tarn from Ravitz. So Ravitz didn't really draw much gas, but Lee has yet to draw a land. There's another Force of Will from Ravitz, so it was very wise that Lee took the Sneak Attack. Ravitz will just pass back.
Yeah, and now Ravitz can hard cast these Force of Will, so he still can cast 2 in 1 turn.
Yep.
Wow, Lee bricks again on the land. He's going to have to discard now.
Unless he tries to go for it, or he's just going to discard. Oh, Leyline of Sanctity, but unfortunately Ravitz cannot cast that.
How much would Josh Ravitz trade for a Brainstorm?
Right?
If Brainstorm said draw 3, put 4 back, I think he'd take it.
The only way Ravitz can actually cast that Leyline right now is with a double Lotus Petal, correct?
Yeah. At first I thought it wasn't possible, but he can do it.
Yeah. All right, so Ravitz draws into another Ponder, I believe, and a Spell Pierce, so definitely some good cards for Josh, although he has yet to find a Show and Tell or another Sneak Attack.
Yeah, he'll keep at least the Spell Pierce. He might even draw that Ponder.
Oh, definitely he'll draw the Ponder. I really can't see him not. He'll play a City of Traders and pass the turn.
How close is he to Emrakul here? 8-10 mana. He's only 5 away.
And I think Lee still did not draw a land yet. This is really crazy. Oh, he draws a Lion's Eye Diamond. Let's see what Ravitz does about this.
I have to think he'll let it resolve.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think what Ravitz's plan should be is to just fight over 1 big turn.
Exactly. It's not like Ravitz has, 4 or 5 counters. He only has a Force of Will, another Force of Will, and a blue card to pitch.
Right. He can hardcast a Force of Will, but not this turn.
And Ravitz is Force of Willing, and I think he's going to pitch the Spell Pierce.
Wow, that's really surprising.
Yeah. No, he pitches the Echoing Truth. I'm still kind of surprised that he forced the Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yeah, I'm not sure his logic there.
All right, so Ravitz sacrifices his Scalding Tarn. Looks like he's going to play a Ponder this turn. Let's see if Ravitz finds a Show and Tell.
Yep, now he used the fetch land first because he knew that he had a City of Traders as his next card.
Exactly, and he definitely doesn't want that.
Right. Even though it gets him only 3 away from him.
Yeah. Well, if he plays it, he has to sack the other City of Traders.
Right, that's true.
So. All right, there's a ponder. And one Force of Will, Lotus Petal, Volcanic Island. Ugh.
Wow.
I think this is probably a shuffle. Yeah.
Yeah, even though Lotus Petal gets him one closer to Leyline of Sanctity, it doesn't do any good without the second.
Exactly. Now, Ravitz is a real solid player, especially when it comes to Legacy. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think I still disagree with the Force of Will on Lion's Eye. I would have just saved all my resources for one big turn.
yeah, we can definitely ask him about him later. Ravitz is, you know, someone pretty good about explaining why he did this, why he did that.
Yeah.
So, it'd be nice to hear from him. And I see a blue card. I think it was just a Spell Pierce he drew.
Yep,
That's
so
what it looked like by
Ravitz's
picture, yeah.
hand,
We'll find out soon what it was. Yeah, I think it was a Spell Pierce. Because if it was a show and tell, he just would have definitely played it.
Yeah, he would have slammed that.
Yep. Ravitz really wants a brainstorm. Get rid of that ley line. Get rid of, you know, the Emrakul maybe. If he can't ever find a sneak attack, he might just want Grizzlebrand anyway.
Right.
So Lee is just discarding again. This is really insane.
Yeah, Lee has discarded 3 times and has cast a Lotus Petal. So he's bricked on Lee.
All right, Ravitz draws another Emrakul.
Wow.
I think Lee bricks again.
Josh Ravitz just being handed the top 8 on a platter if he can ever find a combo piece.
All right. Lee discards. There's a show and tell, finally. And Ravitz is definitely going to go for it right here.
Yep, Force of Will backup. That should be all she wrote for Ning Lee. This is his last turn. Wow.
Is it just game?
It's a Lion's Eye Diamond. That's not going to do anything.
How many times did Lee discard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5 times? 5 turns he discarded?
Wow.
There's a Spell Pierce.
Oh, okay.
There's a Dark Ritual.
Response. And I think Josh will Force of Will this.
Yeah, I could definitely see him Force of Willing this. He has just an extra Spell Pierce that he can't even cast, and because he's tapped out on blue right here. So I think forcing this Dark Ritual seems fine. All right, so Lion's Eye Diamond becomes countered. Now, can Lee ever go off at 3 life just with, like, for example, say if Lee were to draw a land next turn?
I doubt it. He has Brainstorm, Rite of Flame. Oh, well, he does have Rite of Flame into Burning Wish.
Okay.
What could he get with that?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
Ravitz just draws at Brainstorm, so he'll play his own Brainstorm, and he'll draw 1, 2, 3. Land, Force of Will. Well, that's good for him. He'll be able to hardcast the Force of Will next turn. He'll have to lose the City of Traders, but not a big deal.
No, I think that City of Traders has done its work.
Yeah, and this looks like Josh Ravitz has made it top 8 at another SCG Open.
Yeah, he's on the cusp, ready to clinch it.
All right.
Ning Lee only has 1 more turn.
Ravitz probably just put the Leyline Sanctity. And he ends up attacking. Lee has to sacrifice his Chrome Mox, which was his only mana source.
And it sure looks like Lee has a lot of permanents in play, but that's his
he finally draws an Underground Sea, but it's too little, too late right here. There's a Brainstorm.
Starting off on Brainstorm as your only land is not what you want to be doing.
Chain of Vapor, Gitaxian Probes, Silence, and yeah, that's game. All right, Lee being a good sport, saying good luck, good game, and then, you know, good luck into the top 8.
Exactly. Lee, though, not a shabby performance. He goes 7-2.
Yeah, he's definitely going to make the top 32. So he's going to lock up a nice prize for himself, a couple of extra invitational points, SCG points for himself as well. So congratulations to Josh Ravitz, who just made top 8 at the SCG Open.
Yep, he clinches it at X and 1. He'll have one of the top seeds. I think only one person can pass him in terms of seeding.